What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for checking into my YouTube channel. We're going to talk about professional productivity today, especially pastoral productivity, but not necessarily limited to the ministerial vocation. My name is Matt. I'm the pastor of Gospel Fellowship PCA just north of Pittsburgh. If you're looking for a church or know someone who is, please come check us out on the Lord's Day. All right, so you probably know me from YouTube. I have a YouTube channel now of about 10,000 subscribers, for which I'm very thankful. I'm the pastor of a church of about 200 people, for which I am very thankful. I am a contributor to Modern Reformation's blog called The Mod, for which I am very thankful. And I also have kind of this weird side life as a Jonathan Edwards scholar, publishing and writing in that particular area of study. And some people look at all that and they say, my goodness, how do you handle it? To be a pastor is, of course, an all-encompassing job. When you're a pastor, you're always on the clock every day of the week. There could be a crisis come up. There's preaching, there's teaching, there's leading of the session, there's meetings, there's coffee meetings, there's getting to know new people, there's hosting fellowship groups in your home, Sunday school, presbytery meetings. It goes on and on, weddings and funerals. I could go on and on about how hard being a pastor is. But if you're not the kind of person that can get organized in your personal and productivity life, you're probably not going to be able to handle it. And so some people then see some of the other stuff I do, like the YouTube channel and the Jonathan Edwards scholarship, and they say, what gives? How are you able to do this? So in what follows, I just want to say that if any of this comes off as a humble brag, please turn off this video, click on to the next thing, go on to something better. That is not my intention whatsoever, is to brag about my accomplishments. I'm not going to be linking any of my books or writings or anything like that in this video. I just want to talk about productivity. So again, if this sounds like I'm bragging, just go on to the next thing. I really want to talk to people who are interested in increasing the productivity of their life, especially those who may be pastors, ministers, missionaries, Sunday school teachers, whatever you are. If I can help in any way, that's why I'm making this video. Okay, so the first thing I'd say about organization is that some people seem to be born with it, and for other people it's a real struggle. Now, in my own life, whenever people ask me how I have time to do something else, like write an article or write a book, one of the first things I'll tell them is, I don't have hobbies, okay? I'm not the kind of person that, I don't go boating on the weekends. I don't have I'm not part of a gun club. I'm not rebuilding a Corvette in my garage. I do not ever golf. I've only been maybe a handful of times in my life. So I'm just the kind of person, like, I don't have hobbies. My passion is Christ and his kingdom. I'm 43 years old, and I want to spend whatever years I have left in my life before I die just serving him almost constantly. So I don't have any kind of hobbies. And when it comes to time wasting, I am super particular about not doing it. So that's why I don't watch movies. That's why I don't watch any television shows regularly. That's why I don't play video games. I'm not a gamer. I'm not judging any of you who may be doing those things or interested in those kinds of hobbies. It's just not for me. Now, I could enjoy any one of those on a weekend or something like that, but that's not my normal lifestyle, is to pick up hobbies like golfing and try to master that game. I'm trying to live for the glory of Jesus, and I want to spend all of my time doing that. So let me talk about a few things that I do that may help you in your productivity. And if anything is helpful, latch onto it. If not, discard it, just like everything else I say on this channel. Here's the first one. I divide every day of my life into thirds, okay? So I call it the rule of thirds. Now, I sleep 8 hours a night on the regular, and then I've got about 16 hours left, right? So I divide those 16 waking hours into 3 equal parts, and I devote 2 of those to work and 1 of those to family. If you think about doing the math, 8 hours of sleep is a good amount of rest. 10 hours of work is a good amount of work. You'll work a 50-hour week like that at least, and that's not even including the weekends. And you still have 5 hours left, a little bit more perhaps, for your family. And that should be enough to keep a happy marriage, to be a pretty good dad, to show up to the wrestling meets and the soccer games. You can do that with 5 hours a day. So what I do is I divide every day into thirds. 2 thirds are going to be work, so that's either the first and second third, and then the third I come home with the family. or perhaps I'll come home in the middle of the day, or perhaps I'll go to work late, which is the rarest of the options because I'm an early bird. But usually I will divide up my day like that, and that helps me to spin the plates because I really want to be a good husband. I want to be a good dad in all of the ways my life could possibly fail. To fail as a husband, to fail as a father is not something I am inclined to do at all. So I want to make sure that every day I'm devoting a big block of my life, my energy, my waking mind to investing in those particular relationships. Now I realize that sometimes things come up, a presbytery meeting, a mission trip, and the schedule goes haywire. But most of the time, take any given day and divide it into 3 equal thirds, work hard for 2, and devote 1 to your family, and you're going to keep most of your life in pretty good shape. Now, when it comes to work, I don't typically sit down at the computer desk and work 8 hours or 10 hours straight. What I tend to do is work in what I call power bursts, and I think this is a good habit, and I urge you to try it. A power burst is about 45 minutes of concerted mental activity. So if I'm going to work on a sermon, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to concentrate on that task for 45 minutes. And then what I'm going to notice is that my brain lags a little bit and I'm going to need a little rest. That's when I get up, maybe I grab a coffee, walk around the hallway a little bit, pray in the sanctuary. When I come back, I'm probably going to switch tasks to something different because that re-engages my brain. So if I've been writing all morning, then I'm going to switch over to reading. If I've been reading, I'm going to switch over to phone calls. If I've been doing phone calls, I might switch over to write some cards. If I'm writing some cards, I'm going to switch over and go meet somebody for coffee. And so what I try to do is I try to schedule my day. Always control your day. Don't let your day control you. And try to work in power bursts of creative energy. Maybe for you, you can work for 90 minutes straight on one task. If so, then by all means do it. But if not, then keep switching tasks and thereby keep your brain energy and your physical energy moving throughout the day as you continue to change the kind of creative output you are doing in any given task. Okay, especially in ministry, you can afford to do that because ministry is so variegated in terms of the actual to-dos that we try to accomplish on any given day. Okay, here's another one. One of my goals is to waste as little time as possible. So I call this rule, carry a book everywhere. Carry a book everywhere. I always have a book with me, usually my Bible, likely something else as well. The reason I do that is because what I find is many people are late, and I'm not. I'm a timely person. To me, 15 minutes early is on time. To most people who are wild animals who don't have a watch, 15 minutes late is on time. And that usually gives me almost invariably a half an hour of time that I'm not going to waste. You'll be surprised at how much you can read if you carry a book everywhere and invest that time into the life of the mind while you're waiting for somebody else to catch up on their promptness issues. Okay, so carry a book everywhere. Here's another one. Say no to the things that you cannot do. Now, you have to say no to things from time to time. You just have to. Recently, I was invited to speak at a particular seminary on Jonathan Edwards, which that's my strike zone. I would kill to do that. I love that kind of thing. But I had to say no because it provided a conflict in my schedule. And that conflict was going to be my vacation. It was going to cost me some family time. And there's no way I'm going to mess up in that area. I want to be a good dad and a good husband, like I mentioned. So I had to say no. You too will have to say no to things from time to time, as much as you want to do them, if they're not on your hot plate, if they're not on your front burner of things that must get done. And that's why I feel that micromanaging employees is a total waste of time. It's a waste for me and it's a waste for them. Okay, so I do not micromanage my employees. Hire the people you trust and trust the people you hire. Get out of their way and stop reduplicating effort. So that's one way that I try not to waste any productivity time, is trying to redo the things that I've asked my staff to do. Next rule, high level of organization. High levels of organization. Now, obviously, if you follow my channel, you know I'm a list maker, I'm a notebook keeper, I'm a task doer, and I try to regiment my life through various to-do lists. One thing that I want to mention that is not my to-do list, however, is my email inbox. And some of your jobs require a great amount of attention to your email inbox, as does mine. But I tend to leave that for later in the day because your inbox is the to-do list that anybody in the world can add to. But I don't want anyone else in the world to steer my day and my goals for accomplishing what I must do, so I tend to leave that for later. I'll check them off, reply to as many emails, messages, Twitter messages as I can, but I can't let somebody else's failure to plan their life become my crisis that I have to solve for them. So I try to accomplish all of my own stated goals first, and I know that sounds kind of selfish, but that's the way I don't let days slip out of control for me. Okay, so high levels of motivation, high levels of organization, high levels of productivity following those to-do lists which I set for myself. Next, drive with the sound off. Drive with the sound off. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a person who has any creative input into your life, whether you're a writer, whether you're a preacher, whether you're an artist, whether you're a graphic designer, chances are your brain is going to naturally collect ideas and suggest them to you in the moments in which it's not working on other tracks in the background, if you know what I mean. So what I tend to do is drive with the sound off. Now this drives my kids crazy because my daughter, she's always wants the radio thumping and bumping while we're in the car moving. And she's always got to turn it on and readjust the channels that she likes. But for me, I will find that a 17-minute drive to work will suggest all kinds of creative things. And therefore, I'm multitasking even as I drive. I'm just letting my brain go on autopilot, and I often get sermon ideas, illustrations, ideas of things that I want to write, videos that I want to make, etc. So try it. I know it's weird if you're used to listening to podcasts or music all the time, but try driving with the sound off. 2 more things and then I'm out. I'm a napper. I take a nap in the middle of the day. Naps are for babies and old people and highly productive people. Ask anybody who is out there just crushing it in terms of productivity. I can almost guarantee that person is a napper, because in a good 10 to 20 minute nap, you will reset that brain and you will all of a sudden re-gear yourself, and your day will have a whole nother level that you can shift into. A lot of people just grind down slow down the day, and then they just collapse into bed at night. But if you take a nap, man, whew, boy, that is a restart. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll ask you to say some things in the comments about your productivity. Always remember, and this is a great temptation for to-do list people like me, always remember to value people over things and people over tasks, okay? Especially if you're in the ministry. Don't neglect the people that God has put in your life. That phone call, that walk-in office visit, that emergency situation, always value the people in your life, because that's what we're trying to do, right? As Christians, we're trying to affect many people's lives with the goodness of the gospel. Well, let me know what you think about this productivity video. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. Please feel free to comment in the in the comment section below. Nothing much in the description box today, but thank you so much for checking in. I do love you lots, and we'll talk to you later.